Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Dev. Today we're continuing work on the first phase of our Overwatch 2D Demake. Now last time we continued work on Zenyatta's kit, focusing on his orbs, and well, we ran into a snag or two. Snags that could have been avoided, but you know, we don't have to dwell on the past. Anyway, we're taking a break from coding to focus on the visuals for our Demake. That's right, today we're gonna start work on some of the sprites for our game. Namely, we'll be focusing on creating sprites for Soldier 76. So without further ado, let's get to doing some art. Now you're seeing a white screen right now because I'm about to, for the first time ever, reveal the program that I create all my pixel art drafts in. The one program I've used for years. And that program is... yeah, it's MS Paint. Now before we begin, this is what we're aiming for. It's based off the pixel art spray from the game, and in fact, all the pixel art sprays will serve as the templates for our character art. Now I have to use Overwatch's Heroes page as an animation reference, since I couldn't find anything better. The hardest thing about this project is the translation of everything to a smaller scale while, remaining true to the original content. And the visuals and the animation are like the biggest hurdles. Soldier's animation is interesting in that his upper body really doesn't move vertically, so in order to convey something similar, we have to put a lot of focus on the feet movement. Now, let me take a quick moment to defend why I use MS Paint as my main program for drawing sprites. I've tried many programs, including PaintNet, Photoshop, and others, but what I enjoy the most about MS Paint is the simplicity. Preference-wise, I almost never draw complicated sprites with a high color range, so MS Paint does just fine for me for the most part. But back to the animation, as I said, the feet and legs are our main focus, and going a little crazy with the extended foot, for example, while it may seem cartoonish, will actually help us convey motion in the long run. One of the best aspects of stylized animation, in my opinion, is the chance to get weird with the proportions for the sake of suggested movement rather than conveying it in full detail. Now you may notice at this point I'm not using any animation software or techniques to verify that the animations work right. Yeah, I basically eyeball all my animations based on what I think they'll look like, but after I'm done, I'll always verify using other programs and make sure that they look good, and if they don't, I go back in, redraw, and repeat the process. Unfortunately, I can't record that entire process due to some of my programs being so old, they just don't work well with my recording software. Once I finished my first attempt at the run animation, I tried my hand at an idle animation. Soldier's idle standing animation is pretty basic, not much to it, and in fact is arguably one of the least interesting of the bunch. Trying to convey his pose without his legs looking like a solid block was difficult, as well as giving him a sense of life at all. And spoilers, my idea to convey breathing by lazily animating the arm doesn't work out. Yeah. Eventually I moved on to the sprint animation. The sprint animation is interesting in that Soldier finally becomes more lively in his demeanor. His gun is close to his chest, rocking to and fro, his body scrunches in, and his leg movements are, well, sprint-like. Following suit with so few pixels would be difficult, so our legs would have to portray that speed and oomph, if you will. The best way I knew to approach this would be to blur pixels by, again, suggesting movement rather than detailing it. Now again, let me take a quick second to address pixel art and such. While I agree that quote-unquote retro pixel art is overdone in games these days, I never understood those who claimed pixel art was easy to do. I've actually found pixel art to be one of the more challenging and fun art styles to do over the years, simply because you have to convey so much while using so little. I mean, while it is used lazily, and though I don't consider myself a pixel art savant, I've always found it disappointing that gaming personalities slam pixel art as if it's a bad thing, as if, somehow it's inferior to other art styles. But I digress. Getting back to the project, as you've probably seen over the course of this video, a lot of pixels were added, removed, replaced, and so forth, in an attempt to recreate Soldier 76's running animations at a much lower resolution, from scratch. The end results weren't all pretty, but they were fine for a first draft. The running animation came out about as I had planned, and though I failed with the idle animation, the sprint animation gave me a lot to mull over. Another hour spent tweaking these animations provided much more satisfying results. The idle animation does embrace the whole, indie game idle breathing thing, but again, Soldier doesn't give us much to work with. The sprint animation took a while, but after a lot of tweaking, a nice mixture of upper body rotation plus feet movement resulted in a much more satisfying animation. But I'm not gonna lie, I'll likely be redoing the animation entirely in the future. But for now, we're 3 animations closer to making our Overwatch Demake prettier, and in fact, here's a quick mock-up of the generic running animation with proper colors. Not too bad, right? Well, that'll do it for this episode of Let's Dev. Remember that if you enjoyed this video or you enjoy Let's Dev in general, be sure to hit that like button. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions on the art that was done today in the comment section below. I always love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.